In the very back of Runs in the Family's platform, they had an interesting little chain reaction trick called the Bead chain trick. It's not really a complicated trick, but it's smart of this team to use it, because it utilizes a really cool natural motion of the bead chain, or any object like it. Basically, if you pull a little bit of the end of a bead chain off an elevated surface, the rest will follow suit, and then you get the whole bead chain sliding off the surface. Perfect for an eye-catching chain reaction. Some things might cause this thing to fail, like putting it too far from the edge of the surface, or not raising your platform high enough. As long as there's weight evenly distributed along your string or bead, you can get this trick to work. There were only 3 teams in this episode of Domino Masters, so I'll be covering 2 techniques per team. So let's get into everything else we saw in this week's episode of Domino Masters. Runs in the Family also had a part of their build demonstrate technical concepts directly, like proper domino spacing on stairs and how to use small to large dominoes. Is this team trying to do my job for me? And this was covered in the episode anyways, so let's cover something else. Another cool thing about their overall build was their ability to make different sections. Obviously they did this with 4 different distinct connection line colors, but it's really clear and really visual. And it really works here because each of these 4 sections actually tie into 4 different science projects in their story, one of them obviously being technical demonstration. Sometimes builds don't have to be just projects after project. If you want to draw attention to distinct parts of your build, it's good practice to put similar projects or themes in the same section. Bill Nye's favorite part of this setup was apparently the domino race. I think mine is actually the prism. Now let's move on to the OG Topplers. They're holding up their drones and holding back their paper plates with connects, and there are many different kinds of simple connects levers that can help you do things like that. If you need a quick connection, connects is a sturdy material that you can secure with a little bit of mounting tape to help hold things in place with an easy or concentrated release. The OG Topplers levers are a little more complicated than the ones I've demonstrated here though, but that's for builders who are good enough to modify the basic designs. For the OG Topplers giant robot, you can see them stacking different kinds of domino structure designs. This is done by building the bottom design, slipping in a thin surface above it so you have a flat surface to switch, and then building the top design. But as I've mentioned before, a domino wall won't fall if there's too much concentrated weight above it. So how did the OG Topplers get away with this? Well, instead of pulling out a single domino from either section, they used a lot of force to pull out the flat surface itself. Bill Nye's favorite part of this setup was apparently that robot, but mine has to be... okay, that's mine too. The Dominerds show how important it is visually to have pretty color combinations. Domino builders have always considered well-selected color combos to be one of the best traits of a domino setup, and it's one of the biggest things you can do to establish your own build style. I can't provide a lot of tips for it since it's all up to your creativity, but there are always certain details I like taking in, like do builders use contrasting colors or do they use gradients? Or do they rotate through their palette every few dominoes or make longer lines of each color? My personal favorite color combination is this blue, purple, yellow, which are the colors of my current channel logo. I also use it in my setups periodically. The Dominerds machine sections also demonstrate a crucial building concept called secured range of motion. It's one of the best habits a machine builder can develop, and it basically involves being meticulous enough to make sure every object in motion only does that intended motion. Anything on the car that's not supposed to wobble doesn't wobble. The beaker strictly follows its path of rotation by tipping and standing along a hinge, and not some sloppy piece of tape or something. Another example is, let's say you have a machine sequence where an arm hits a ball into a domino. But because you're placing the ball anywhere in this general area, the arm can hit it anywhere and it's very easy to miss. But you can secure the ball's range of motion by putting it on a stand or even adding guides. Secured range of motion goes a long way for reliability, especially if you only have one chance for everything to work. Bill Nye's favorite part of this setup was apparently the whole thing? Yeah, he said everything was cool. Anyways, my favorite part was actually the beaker pour. Domino Masters is a show that airs every Wednesday at 9/8 Central on Fox, but all the episodes so far can be streamed right now on Fox Now and Hulu. And you can still see my work and my name in every single episode because I was the producer and consultant for this show. And if you're wondering if I got to meet Bill Nye on set, yes. We had a 2-minute interaction where I taught him how to use a domino template. It's crazy that we're already so far through the season, but I promise you won't want to miss either of these last 2 episodes. So thank you as always for watching, and with that, I will see you with more Domino Masters analysis next week.